I didn't know it was anxiety. I just knew something felt wrong. My morning started with a strange pressure in my chest, like I had forgotten something important, but I hadn't. Small tasks made my hands shake. Simple conversations made my heart race. I avoided phone calls. I stayed silent in groups. And at night, I couldn't sleep. My mind would cycle through everything I said that day, then everything I might say tomorrow. I told myself I was just tired, overworked, sensitive, but deep down, I knew something was happening to me. I was overthinking everything. I'd feel sudden waves of fear, even on calm days. I couldn't focus. I couldn't eat. I smiled when I needed to, but I was exhausted from pretending to be okay. I didn't say anything. I just kept surviving. It wasn't a breakdown. It was a quiet moment, like the world had gone still. I was sitting alone on the edge of my bed, staring at the wall. Not crying, not panicking, just tired. There was no one around, no noise, just me and the sound of my own breathing. And I remember whispering something. Not loud, not dramatic, just a sentence I had never admitted out loud before. This can't be my life. It hit like a soft wave. I wasn't angry. I wasn't scared. I was simply done living like this. That night, I opened a blank notebook. I didn't even know what to write. I just knew I needed to do something. Anything. I wrote one sentence. I want to feel okay again. That was it. No plan, no promise, just honesty. It wasn't a cure, but it was a beginning, a signal to myself that I was ready to try. Healing didn't begin with some big, dramatic step. It started with small, quiet choices I made each day, not because someone told me to, but because I wanted to feel a little more human again. The first thing I tried was grounding. I had read about the 5-4-3-2-1 technique, noticing 5 things you can see, 4 you can touch, 3 you can hear, 2 you can smell, and 1 you can taste. It sounded silly at first, but during one especially anxious morning I tried it, and something shifted. Not everything, but enough to make me feel present, even for just a moment. Then came breathing. Not just breathing, but paying attention to it. I learned about box breathing. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 4, hold again for 4. I would do this when I felt panic rise in my chest. It didn't make it vanish, but it gave me space. And in those seconds, I remembered. I'm not helpless. Next, I turned to journaling. Not for productivity, not to fix myself. Just to empty the weight in my head onto paper. I wrote down triggers, what I felt, what I was afraid of. Sometimes I wrote gratitude lists, not because I felt grateful, but because I wanted to find something that didn't feel broken. I started taking slow walks, even if it was just around the block. I didn't track my steps. I didn't listen to anything. I just noticed my feet, the air, the sun. It made me feel like a person again. I also realized that screen time made things worse. Constantly checking my phone, doom scrolling late at night, comparing myself to people who seemed fine. So I began putting my phone in another room for the first hour of the day. It felt weird, then peaceful, then freeing. Some days I lit a candle and did nothing for 10 minutes. Some days I made a gentle morning routine. Stretch, breathe, write one sentence. Not every day was perfect, not even close, but I started to trust that consistency, intensity. Eventually, I found a therapist who felt safe, not someone who fixed me, but someone who sat with me and helped me sort through the noise. But even before that, I was healing, because for the first time in a long time, I was choosing myself. I tried a lot of things. Some worked a little, some didn't work at all, but a few things stuck. The one that helped me most, especially when panic hit hard, was breathing on purpose. I'd sit, place a hand on my stomach, and do slow belly breaths. Sometimes I'd count. Inhale for 4, hold for 4, exhale for 6. Other times I'd whisper to myself, "You're safe, just breathe." Not always easy, but over time my body started to believe me. Another thing that changed everything was talking to my anxiety. Not like it was the enemy, but like it was a scared version of me. Instead of saying, "Make this go away," I started saying, "Okay, I hear you. What do you need?" That softened something inside. It made me feel less like I was fighting myself. I also made small safe spaces at home. A soft corner with a blanket and a journal. A playlist of calm music. Even a dim lamp I'd turn on during tough evenings. A signal to my brain that it was time to soften. But maybe the biggest shift was in my self-talk. Instead of repeating, "I can't handle this," I started saying, "I've made it through every anxious moment before. I'll make it through this one too." These weren't loud victories. No one saw them. But day by day they added up. And eventually I realized something. I was still anxious sometimes. But I wasn't afraid of it anymore. I'm not cured. I still have anxious days. But they don't own me anymore. Now, when anxiety shows up, I meet it like an old friend. Not someone I invited, but someone I understand. I know how to breathe through it. I know what calms my nervous system. Most importantly, I know that it passes, and that gives me peace, even in the storm. I have a life now that feels fuller, not because anxiety is gone, but because I'm no longer shrinking to make room for it. I go out, I rest, I say no without guilt, and I've stopped hiding the hard parts. If you're watching this right now, I want you to know, you're not behind, you're not broken. You're in the middle of something hard, and that's okay. If I could give you a few gentle suggestions, they would be: 1. Start with one small habit, one that makes your body feel safe, even for 30 seconds. 2. Talk to yourself like someone you love, not like a problem to be fixed. 3. Remember, you're not late. You're healing in your own time. And if no one's told you lately, you're doing better than you think. You're not alone, and your future still holds beauty, even if you can't see it yet. If you're in the thick of it right now, that foggy, heavy, exhausting place, I want you to hear this. You are not weak for feeling this way. You are not broken because it's taking time. You are simply human, moving through something invisible, but very real. Recovery doesn't look like a straight line. It's more like a spiral. Some days forward, some days backward, some days just breathing and surviving. But even in your quietest moments, you are healing. Every breath you've taken during panic, every moment you stayed present when it hurt, every time you chose not to give up. Those are victories. Quiet ones. Real ones. You don't have to become a new person. You just have to return to the one who's been waiting beneath the fear. And they're still there. I promise. If this story brought you even a little comfort, I hope you'll consider doing 3 things. Like this video, not just for the algorithm, but because it helps others find stories that matter. Share it with someone you care about, someone who might be hurting quietly, just like I was. And if you'd like to hear more real stories of healing, growth, and quiet strength, subscribe to the channel. Every week, I'll share something honest, something soft, something that might meet you right where you are. The next story is already waiting, and maybe, just maybe, it's the one you've been needing most. You're not alone here, not anymore.